Tiffany, they say you're on the verge of suicide. And I know that we had our discussion about your murder suicide where you would release cash from the suffering that he has to live with for the rest of his life. So, back when we were just talking about how you could never be free to do anything because you're burdened by having cash at all times. It's like you can't go traveling with anybody or do anything because you're stuck with him. And how it causes resentment. And then you said, and I said that YouTube was your coping mechanism for such a miserable life, and your antics on YouTube and your sexual escapades and so forth. And you said, yes, you understand me better than anybody else. And so I knew that you were going to get to a point where suicide was going to feel like the only option. And I know that Cash is going to have to live with this humiliation for the rest of his life. And when this stuff comes out, well, if you're dead, you won't have to worry about any criminal prosecution or liability. But there's no reason for you to kill Cash. He can change his name, and I'm sure that your sister or somebody will be able to take him into a situation after these things come out. They'll put him in some kind of protective custody program. What I'm saying is you're probably thinking of murdering Cash and then committing suicide so you won't be lonely in the afterlife. But there's better options. You should just probably call some kind of like psychological help hotline, unless that you have finally gotten to the point of there's no plausible deniability left. Because it seems as if the sex, I don't know how to properly to say it, the basically selling your son to homosexual predators. It's I know it's coming down on you like a ton of bricks, and I know that I've encouraged you to commit suicide because of child abusers should just kill themselves rather than face the consequences in prison, because it's going to be very rough and hard, and they're very, very hard on child abusers in prison. And I think you've gotten you to that point where you're probably contemplating suicide. But my worries is that you might follow through on the murder-suicide ideations that you were having. Because, I mean, even with the things that you were talking about, your crucifixion of Cash as some kind of symbolic representation of leaving the financial system of slavery behind forever, and how it would be such a profound statement. Like you were leaving some kind of statement to the world, like that Brad Pitt movie Seven at the end of like with the seven deadly sins, and the crucifixion of Cash would be on the same level as the movie Seven with Brad Pitt. And so I'm kind of a bit concerned that you, because of your recent psychosis, has been getting worse because of the I've told you before about these chemicals that you're ingesting and taking on a regular basis for coping are making certain things worse. So I believe this message goes out to Tiffany as don't kill Cash, even if he is a substantial witness and your whole crew of sex predators and perverts is going to go down. They'll put you in protective custody, Tiffany. They won't let you be stabbed to death if you turn yourself in and say that you just need help. You did it for drugs or something. The guy that's talking about cutting your face off, I don't know what that's about. I think that's some kind of movie reference. Maybe he thinks he's Hannibal Lecter. And then I just anybody that has any kind of evidence or proof of Tiffany talking about her suicidal ideations and thoughts, they should probably go directly to the police with that in Murrieta, California. Even the attorneys generals of the state of California or the state that you're presently residing will take that evidence and they will be able to launch an investigation and maybe take immediate actions to protect that child because I believe from things that Tiffany's alluded to that she may consider murdering Cash to I don't think it's to bury the evidence, but to like it's one of those sick Lori Vallow type situations where she thinks she's doing something right in terms of some kind of a spiritual realm in which she's been having these hallucinations regarding. So I think, anybody just immediately should call the police and report these things. If she's talking about suicide, this goes right back to her crucifixion of Cash psychotic scenario and then the incest mother things. Um, I mean, a woman that masturbates for random strangers on the internet and wants them to pretend to be her son so she can be their sex mommy, that's abnormal. And then just to sit back and say that you wished you didn't have the burden of being stuck with the child so you could go be free to live your life and you could do adventures and go hiking and camping and things and like, but then you feel like torn because cash is your only means of financial income and support. I don't understand why you just don't let somebody have him before you kill him. I don't comprehend why murdering that boy is necessary in order for you not to be lonely in the world to come. I think you should probably I know you believe it's Forrest Jameson threatening to cut your face off with a broken bottle. I don't know. I don't think he'll really do that. He might. He's been involved with some very dark demonic occurrences, so he might have that kind of energy and vibe to him, and it's overtaking him. But even then, uh, you know, I just don't think he's going to cut your face off with a broken beer bottle. I don't think that's really realistic. And I just don't see why you shouldn't. I don't see why killing Cash is going to keep you from being lonely in the spirit realm and keeping Forrest from cutting your face off with a broken bottle. All the things that you're talking about, they don't. None of them connect logically. It's just. I know that it's very likely that you've been involved in some very sick sexual things, and your son has been exposed to it. I mean, even it's been out there that you were molesting the neighbor boy, and then you were masturbating with Cash in the presence of Cash, for random strangers on the internet, and then I already know that you've been involved with the trying to offer Cash for sexual services to homosexual predators. That's a proven fact. As far as I'm concerned, I have no doubts about it whatsoever. I believe that this is what's been going on. And I still don't understand why killing Cash is going to make anything better. Why are you contemplating a murder-suicide of your own son? Even if he has been sexually molested and abused on a repeated basis, it would be better for him to be alive than dead. Your logic isn't flawed. It's not. I know in your drug-induced psychosis, I know you're not understanding. I'm just trying to get through to you that Drink some water, and maybe it'll flush some of that stuff out of your system, and you'll be able to think more clearly. Because murdering your own son, or in this psychotic sex fantasy, the crucifixion of Cash, where he's fisted to death and stuff, and like, so you could be the you could be like the mother of Jesus, but even more so because your son will be more killed in a more abominable way than Jesus Christ himself was killed, so that you will be able to surpass God the Father, because you will be the God the Mother, because you're offering your son up for like some kind of sick ritualistic murder at your own hands. I don't see how this is going to make you into the epiphany of a goddess mother of the universe. This doesn't make sense. I think you anybody that knows Tiffany should probably be contacting the police at this point, because she's talking crazy. She's talking about suicide, and once you get to that level, murder is not too far away. It's one step away. Happens all the time.